Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426 and today we have the review of the HGUC Hygogg. Now this kit, I have a friend who's been really suggesting me this kit to try it out, and then once again I am a big fan of amphibious kits, and since Gunpla supplies are getting a little bit rare these days, so which is why any kit that has been on my list at least once, I'm going to get them as soon as possible, and there's still a lot of retail kits that I need to try out as well. Anyway, so here we have the Hygogg. Now I have heard a lot of good praises about this kit, so I think it's time for me to try it out. Now when I first got this kit, I was kind of worried because of how the Hygogg was, not the Hygogg, the HGUC Hygogg, so the last HGUC kit I reviewed. There were some issues going on there, so I was kind of worried if this was going to have the same issues. However, after building it, there's no need to worry. This is a very good kit. Alright, so as usual, let's go over the components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the MS itself, the mobile suit itself. Very unique looking, you know, with very long arms and short body. It definitely has that, you know, amphibious, unique look in the Gundam universe. Now, sticker-wise, we do get some stickers. Now, I didn't use everything, obviously. I did color some parts. The only ones I technically use are these red stickers that are all over the shoulders and arms, so I did that. We have these white numbers. If you want to use them, you can do that as well. And then we have these white white ones, these long ones, so you can wrap around the canisters here. But once again, I did not do that. We have the symbol there, and then here we have a black sticker to cover around the mono eye, which I decided to use a Gundam marker. Alright, so and then we do get some leftover polycaps as well. Nothing too special about that. And then other than the mobile suit, here we have some parts. So here we have those canisters that you can technically that you can attach onto the arms of the Hygogg in order to make the cruise mode or cruising mode. And then here we have these missile parts which you can attach to the hand or claws of the Hygogg. Now the way how these works, I mean, they do plug in simply, but you know, technically wise, this is not how they work. So for those who've played or seen the anime, you might know what I mean, but still we'll get into that later, so I'll put these away for now. Alright, so let me get off the rotating stand and let's see what we got. Now granted, to me this is a pretty old kit now, but I am aware there is an even older version of this kit, so basically before HGUCs. I know they do exist. I used to have the original, the before HGUCs, the HG Camphor, which was a very odd kit to me because at the time, because the box and the actual color looked nothing alike. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So let's look at the main body first. So the main body here, definitely I do like this clear sky blue color going on here. Now instead of the black sticker, I colored the black areas around the mono eye with a Gundam marker, and I think it turned out okay. Now the mono eye itself is a clear pink plastic here. However, like the Hygogg or Hygogg type experiment, you cannot move the mono eye, so it's pretty much stuck in there. Here we have these vents. I think if you want to make it look color accurate, or if you want to give it more details, you can definitely color those. And then we do have some panel lining areas, but definitely not your typical like lining areas, but basically like the insides here, around here. So if you want to give it a little bit more lively look, you can definitely do that as well. And we do have the Vulcan's details molded in there, so that's pretty good. So the main body itself is very simple here going on here. So instead of actually having a body and then a separate head, the head and body is pretty much a single piece or combined into one. So the main body itself is connected to a simple peg here, so going 360 here should be no problem as well. Of course, when you're rotating it, although I'm not sure in what cases you will be rotating these, just make sure you don't collide with other parts. Alright, now looking at the backpack here, we have the orange backpack. Now, very familiar looking here, so it definitely looks similar to the one that was in the Hygogg type experiment, but still, no big deal. And if you do like the orange color, you can always take it off, although it is kind of tricky to take it off, but still, that's the way how it works. And then other than that, we do have these extra thrusters, actual thrusters on the back, so yeah. I think it's really up to your preference and choices to whether to use this or not. But once again, technically this is used for the cruising mode. So once he's out of the water, this would technically, you know, eject. So I'm just gonna take that off. All right, now let's get the arms first. So the way how the arms work. First of all, we have these gigantic shoulders, but as you can see, they are actually connected to the shoulder joints, so they can go up and down like that. You can flap them around because this is technically for the cruising mode. And then since it is on a regular peg here, you can go 360 just to give you guys a better idea how the peg is. Yeah, this is how it is, and there is a polycap inside. There we go. Now the arms itself can go to the side 90 degrees, and because of the gigantic shoulder, it does give the good look where it covers up the joints here. Now the joints here are kind of definitely unique, so I thought basically each would be like connected to a polycap, or maybe there's going to be a bendy wire, but no, each of these are plastic ball joint connections. So this top one is connected to a peg to the main shoulder joint here, but these two ones, this one is connected to this one to a ball joint, and the third one is also connected to a plastic ball joint here. So each of them do have articulation, but not in the way where you can like rotate them around. I mean, there is a slight wiggle going on here, but first of all, you can go bend that much there to the front, and then you can do that as well and that as well. So it does give out that natural bend look going on here. So very well done, if you ask me. And then if you want, you can rotate the entire arm like this 360 if you want to do so. And then the actual claw area, you can also believe, yes, there is another peg here, so you can go 360, and there is another bending point here. So if you want to do so, you can do that as well. If you want to bend them upwards, you have to obviously rotate that as well. And then here we have some red stickers here. So there's one on this arm, and then there should be two. Oops, sorry about that. Two on the shoulder, on each shoulder. So you can count that as you want. And then we have these claws, which I do like the fact that each claw is connected to a ball joint. Well, is a ball joint on the end tip here, so each of them moves individually. So yeah, each finger does move individually, so, or claw. And then here we have a hole here. Now technically the Hygogg is capable of firing a beam gun through the arms, but once again, once you have the canisters, what they do is that once the canisters are on the arm, before taking them off, they can fire this missile here, and then while it fires, the canister would fall off. So that's the way how it works. But because of the engineering limitations and being a kid here, you can just attach this singly. So if you want to make a diorama using these parts, you're going to need some glue and extra smoke effects. But still, yeah, it's a pretty nice detail going on here. All right, so it plugs in pretty well. All right, so we've seen the basics of the arm. Now let's look at the main legs here. So let me just take one arm off so I do have some extra space to actually show you guys this properly. All right, so the legs here. So obviously we have another red sticker here. The way how this works is that the feet or the entire leg here is on a ball joint like this. So there's a polycap inside there. Oops, yeah. There are some parts that are a little bit wobbly or wiggly. So, but still, as you can see, this joint here is not exactly like clicked in here. It's just there to cover up a few joints, like empty spaces here. So that's the only odd part, if you ask me. Now, since it is on ball joints, going forward is also possible, 90 degrees, or if you don't have the arm, going 360 is also possible. And then going to the side, not so much, because the way how the joint here is actually in an L shape, so it's like it's in a angle, so it doesn't really allow you to go fully 90 degrees to the side. But after going, oops, yeah, it is kind of tricky because of that part is easily falls up on the inside. So bend wise, we do get a nice bend here, about roughly 90 degrees, but technically it could be less, just saying about that. And then the feet here is on a ball joint here, and each giant feet here, they can all move individually like that. Now, this is technically for the cruising mode, so yeah. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the Hygogg. Definitely, at this point, it is a slightly old HGUC kit, but I think it's still a very fun kit to build. Especially being an amphibious kit, it definitely has the unique properties of of that kind, because definitely, for those who haven't tried, I highly recommend trying out the HGUC Hygogg. It's definitely a great kit. Now, granted, I am aware of the popularity of the Masterpiece kit, but the HGUC kit also deserves some praise. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the Hygogg, so I think I'll be right back with the cruising mode. So in order to attach those canisters here, what you need to do is that you need to actually take off all the entire arm, these three joints off here, and then you have to take off the handguard, which is this part. You have to take this off, and then you have to take this entire thing off, and then you wrap around this part. So once again, I'll be right back with the cruising mode, and we'll end it off there. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the cruising mode. So I reattached the backpack. So I basically, attach those canisters on here as well. So basically the cruising mode is basically when this thing is, inside the water and then swimming around. So it would technically, you would have to also do this, and then it will be floating around like this inside the water. Now, my only gripe regarding this is that I actually do like stuff like these. However, the only biggest problem is that there is no action-based connector on the bottom here. So yeah, that's the only limitations here. So if you have like the necessary tools, I suggest you get like a leftover polycap, drill a hole there, and then maybe slap that inside so you can put this on an action base. But definitely, I really love this look. It's just that it's a shame that it doesn't have any holes to connect, so you can put this on the action base. I would love to put this like this. So maybe, yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's a very good and fun kit. It's something, it has like some aspects that you don't see every day. Now, if you're wondering, yes, you can technically move the arms around if you want to do so like this. Now, technically, the missiles is not inside here. This is just the only lower arm or the claw area. That's inside there. So even though I do say claw, it's basically the lower arm, because basically here are the leftover parts after attaching here. So you have the main arm joints here, you have the main claws here, and then you have the claw cover or hand cover. So yeah, definitely an odd choice, but still, I guess I'm going to assume that's like engineering limitations, or maybe this is the main reason why they're not making a master grade or real grade version of this, because of that, this aspect. But anyway, yeah, this was the review of the HGUC Hygogg. I would definitely recommend for those who enjoy amphibious kits. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this. And this actually made me want to try out the Robot Dalmatian anime version as well. So maybe you might see that in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the HGUC Hygogg. If you guys got any questions or requests, in the comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out. So please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.